they can support their family members' claims.
Okay, you have a lot of issues over here. What you described to me is you have a criminal case and a potential civil rights case. Let's talk about your criminal case. You have a criminal case, you're going to be arrested, you'll be put through the system, you may get bail, you may be released on your own property. You have to speak with the attorney that represents you on the criminal charges, and the district attorney has to prove certain things about what happened. If the police don't have any probable cause to make an arrest, if the police, for example, use excessive force, if the police, for example, didn't need to use certain rights, these will all be taken up in the criminal case, and you may have certain evidence, and the evidence is what the attorney is going to bring to court if it goes to that far. Hopefully you'll get dismissed. Now, that's a criminal case. I always tell people, if you beat the criminal case, you don't walk away and breathe a sigh of relief and you go. You got something else you got to consider. And that's what we call a civil rights case. Now it's your turn. Turn the tables. It's your turn now to sue the cops, to sue the city. If they arrested you without probable cause, if they had no basis to make an arrest. So many times what we do is I've had cases where you have a couple of kids hanging around at night, maybe they're talking, maybe they're a little loud and so on, but not really doing anything of nature. And a cop comes over to them, and maybe it's by the end of his tour of duty, and maybe he wants to make an arrest, and maybe he wants to get a little overtime. They used to have an expression for that called collar dollar. Meaning you make a collar, you make an arrest at the end of your tour of duty, or close to it, you gotta get the overtime, you gotta get the extra dollars. So I'm always looking about that when a cop makes an arrest, and I'm looking to whether or not they had any probable cause to actually make the arrest, or if they were just looking for beef up something. Well, most cops are decent guys, they probably are. But you get bad guys too. You get good guys and bad guys all around, you know? And when the bad guys do something, that's your turn to go and to see did they have probable cause. And if they didn't have probable cause, you got claims against the officers and against the municipality. If they assault you, use too much force, that's not reasonable. Even if they did not probable cause, but they just use too much force, you have excessive force claims, civil rights claims. If you can show that they had no business doing this and they just wanted to keep up certain records to show maliciousness, you have malicious prosecution claims. People come to me sometimes on these cases. And what I like to tell people is that you have certain deadlines. Bottom line is this, if you think that you have a potential claim, go to an attorney right away because you've got only 90 days, 90 days to put in a claim in the state of New York on a police misconduct case. Thereafter, you have other claims to show things. That's on state cases. Some attorneys like to process these in the federal courts where you have more time. But there are different rules and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into it. The point of the matter is what you mentioned. 2 cases, stay in touch with your criminal court attorney, make sure you give them every bit of evidence you think you may have, but watch the clock. Speak to your criminal court attorney, because he or she is going to represent you in a criminal case. They're not necessarily going to represent you in a civil rights case. But watch the clock and speak to the attorney and make sure that you also explore that particular opportunity.
Okay. And the second part of that, same scenario, same individual, but this time the case is moved from the criminal court and passed down to the family court because of the age of the individual. And the original charges are essentially changed to disorderly conduct. And now it's been sent to the Department of Probation and what's called the Corporate Council, I believe that's what it's called.
Corporation Council?
Corporation Council.
They represent the city, and the city's being independent.
Okay, so their responsibility is to investigate whatever happened at that particular
Well,
time.
they have certain issues, certain responsibilities, and certainly if they are representing police or if they're involved with it, you know, they're going to have their own investigations as well.
Okay, they have a deadline as to when they're supposed to respond to the family.
You know, the courts would tell that, well, she could have done that too.
Well, I'll mute them.
Right.
Okay, so
Let him speak, maybe during the break, or whatever, maybe speak about it. Yes.
My question is a housing question.
That's okay. Would you rather me speak to one of us in private? That's okay. We'll try to stick around, leave a little time for that. Okay, that's quite all right. We don't want you to speak amongst everybody. That's okay. Certain things are difficult, and we understand. Yes, sir. In private, sure, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll do that. All right. Now, here's the thing. We're gonna speak to you in private right now, if anybody has certain questions. Now, we're in between sessions in terms of where, these conferences are held. Hopefully, we may be in the permanent space next time. July 30th, the last Thursday in July, we'll meet again. We hope to have different quarters and other issues, hope that other attorneys are available. Please tell your friends about the National Action for Legal Night, and maybe you can come back again. Okay. Thank you very much, and you'll be available.
Thank you.
Thank you.